One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing Hartford Stage's production of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, adapted by Jeffrey Hatcher, based on the novella The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, directed by Melia, Bensussen, and running through November 3rd at Hartford Stage at 50 Church Street in Hartford, Connecticut. Take a stab at visiting my Patreon page, where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support my work here, as well as my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee, a show you can find on my Patreon page and Spotify. The most recent episode on George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead is currently available for patrons only. There are also retro reviews, polls, and other fun things to check out. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. A link will be in the description. There have been many adaptations or spoofs of the Jekyll and Hyde story. Acclaimed actors like Frederick March, John Barrymore, and Spencer Tracy have taken on the role in film, and cartoons have done various parodies of it. There was a stage adaptation that ran on Broadway off and on between 1887 and 1907 featuring Richard Mansfield, and of course there was the 1997 Frank Wildhorn musical that people generally seem to have divided opinions about. The novella, the 1944 printing that I own has it run 94 pages, is mostly reflective, with the surviving characters of the narrative attempting to put the pieces together as to what led to the various deaths that precede the opening of the story. Hatcher's adaptation pays closer homage to that element of the book than most of the other adaptations, starting the play with a body laying on the ground with blood caked on his chest. Two men discuss the bloody events leading to the proper rising action of the play. We followed the traditional narrative of Jekyll and Hyde from here on out. Dr. Jekyll, played by Nathan Darrow, is an eccentric doctor-scientist studying human behaviors and attempting to find a way to curb the baser behaviors of man. Meanwhile, there is a psychotic killer on the loose, a Mr. Hyde, who is closely tied to Dr. Jekyll. Those who know the Jekyll and Hyde story know how the two are really connected, but I wouldn't want to spoil it for those who may not know. Many of Jekyll's colleagues are concerned with the project, including Mr. Gabriel Utterson, played by Omar Robinson, and Dr. H.K. Lanyon, played by Peter Stray, as they believe Jekyll is risking his reputation and life by affiliating with lecherous villains like Hyde. Jekyll's assistant, Mr. Poole, played by Jennifer Ray Bareilles, has fewer misgivings. Meanwhile, there's Elizabeth Jelks, played by Sara, who becomes enamored with the strange Mr. Hyde. Rounding out the cast is Nayib Felix, who plays Sir Danvers Carew, who is slightly changed from the gentleman he is in the novel, but still disdained by Hyde, and several other roles, including an inspector who investigates the events of the play. Hatcher's version of the story, written about 15 years ago, plays more to the mystery of who Hyde is. Though many of us, if not most of us, know the story, it is good to see a version where newcomers may not know what's going on. To play up the mystery, the various cast members play Hyde in various forms. It's something that wouldn't be too hard to figure out, and it doesn't take long before it is all revealed, but it's refreshing that the production doesn't play to the assumption that the audience is ahead of the characters. I like this interpretation of Hyde, as it escalates the mystery and elevates the conflict between Jekyll and Hyde. Bensussen directs a great cast. I like that in this adaptation, Jekyll is a little less sure of himself at times, and Darrow plays the insecurities with increasing discontent with himself. The Elizabeth subplot may be a bridge too far for some modern audiences who may find it difficult to believe that someone would willingly submit themselves to a monster like Hyde, but in all seriousness, how many of us have heard of people who are in abusive relationships and don't get out because of some misguided concept of love? So I'm okay with it. When Jekyll and Hyde come face to face with each other, it is deftly handled, using the full extent of Sarah Brown's scenic design, Evan C. Anderson's detailed lighting, and Jane Shaw's sound. The drama is elevated with its dark and ominous tone. Brown's design is further detailed with a sprawling set with trap doors and upstairs platforms and hidden floor spaces and other hiding spots. It captures the dark Victorian spirit so common with English writers of the time, and it is delightful all across the board in its design. This is an exceptional production of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's dark and gritty with a definitive air of mystery to it. The cast is excellent in their various roles, and it is obvious that Jeffrey Hatcher has a deep love and respect for the material. Hartford Stage's production is a great show for a fun, spooky night of horror for the Halloween season. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be a link to my Patreon page, Spotify page, and social media where you can follow and support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the Broadway revival of Romeo and Juliet. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.